Hello and welcome back to the Honey Badger. I am Dr. Nefertiti Fox de Fandino, but you can just call me Nef. Today we're going to talk about altars and what they are and how you can put one together. This is mine. Now these are the shelves. There are some mini altars here and here. I have one up here. And these are all of the stuff, all of the extra stuff that we utilize for practicing. And there's more down at the bottom. We won't go there, it's a little messy. But, so what is an altar? Altars, in general, is a place where you can put sacred items. Sacred items can be used for anything. It really boils down to what your intention for that altar is going to be. Let's say, for instance, you want something that basically brings in the energy of good health. Okay, maybe you want to either avoid bad health, or we're dealing with an illness, or someone you know and love is going through an illness and you basically want to help them. So you can create an altar that is for good health. Now you can put anything up there that you deem represents good health. Now that could be maybe water. Water is necessary for the body, right? So you want to put water up there. It's very nurturing. You can put things up there that are more divine feminine. Because divine feminine is the nurturing energy that we all have, right? We all have divine masculine, divine feminine energies within us, and it represents the creation and it represents the nurturing, right? So anything that represents that can be put onto that altar. Also, if you're into the chakra system, you can put things that represent the chakra system up there so that we have a well-balanced energy flowing throughout our body. Of course, there's over 100 chakras. We really only have the top 7 represented usually. There's another bottom 7 that we don't talk about, but they exist. So there's chakras all over our body, and you know, the idea is if energy gets stuck somewhere, that's where the illness forms. So you can put things up there that represent that, anything that you deem represents good health, right? So with that said, there are so many different things you could put up there. There is no right or wrong. I want to make that very clear. There is no right or wrong way to make an altar. There just isn't. I will say there are some good tips out there to make a good altar. Now, number one, you want to put it in a place where other people in the household aren't going to put their energy into it. Okay, unless you trust them. Unless you absolutely trust them. This one's in my bedroom. So if we ever do have company come over, they aren't touching this and they're not even going in here. This is a sacred space. My bedroom is always a sacred space. Even all the entities that come through here, they all know this. It's kind of an off limits area unless it is my spirit team. They're the only ones that are allowed in my bedroom, right? So they're the only ones that come through. But you want to put it in a place that is sacred to you, that is kind of away from the household, all the different energies that come through your household. You want to keep it away from that because you want to make sure that the energy you're putting into this stays that way. You don't want it to change unless you are intentionally changing it. So that's number one. Number two, decide what it is that you want to put up there. These are a lot of different things. So I've got musical instruments here, and I've got musical instruments right here. So this is good energy, right? Good vibes. These are instruments that create good energy, right? They're high vibrational. Of course, my little ring stick, which I love so much, that it's also sacred, right? It's good stuff. It's good energy. It brings forth good energy. Now, most of these, well, actually all of these instruments came from Colombia. So it's good. It's good juju. It's good energy. So I want that in my bedroom, I want that in my house, but primarily I want it in the bedroom because I want a good night's sleep. Who doesn't want that? But I want a good night's sleep. I love lucid dreaming as well. It doesn't happen very often for me, but it's also something to harness that energy. Now right here in this one, in fact, I'll bring this a little bit closer so you can see it. This is more personal. So this is my husband and I, this is his and this is mine. I wear this quite a bit, and I'm sure you've seen this in some of my videos, right? So these were especially made for us. We designed them ourselves. We picked out the stones that we wanted to use for them. So these are sacred to us. So we use these whenever we're doing any type of work. These arrowheads here, they represent protection, at least for me. This one's mine, of course. This is the one I bought. This is one he picked out for himself. Shark tooth. Shark tooth is also protection. So it's not just to protect us personally, but it's to protect our marriage. You know, we're doing great. We don't want anything bad to happen, but you know, things do come up. But we want protection between the two of us and the energy between the two of us. Of course, this is actually something that I do recommend. It doesn't have to be this in particular, but when you're making an altar, you want something for offerings. So you can put water in here, you can put wine in here, whatever you feel called to put in here. Put it in there. Now these guys over here, these oils, those are also sacred. So those oils are moon energy, they're sun energy, they're nature energy. And they were handcrafted by the shaman that my husband has been working with down in Colombia for years now. His name is Shaman Gato, and his wife, they make those, and they smell so good. Oh my gosh. But oils like this are really great. So, and with these in particular, there's roller balls on them. In fact, I'll pull this one out so you can look at it. But you can see all of the good stuff that's in there, right? But I got stones in there and I have crystals in there. So we've got the amethyst here for moon energy, and I love putting that on my third eye because why not? So what you do with these is you actually roll it into your hand, and then you warm it up and you take a nice big sniff. And I have some on my hand already. So so these are things that are very personal to us, that we utilize. So I made a tiny little altar for the two of us so we can have our own energies, kind of individual, but also intertwined with one another. Now, down here are some supplies. I do have all of my oracle and tarot down here. I really only have one tarot deck. There is another one I need to get. I've been dying to buy it, so it's time for a new one. But these are all of my cards that I utilize whenever I do readings. All of my candles and candle stuff. So I burn these pretty much every single day. That's why I buy these in a bundle. I am really partial to chime candles or the small taper candles, but these will do in a pinch, let me tell you. So my favorite thing about using a tea light candle is you can put oils in it if you want to. Sometimes I do. You can also put herbs, spices, whatever on top of them and just let it burn that way. With a taper candle, it's a little bit difficult. It's not impossible, but it takes a little more effort to get all of that stuff to like stick on it. So I actually prefer using these a lot, but I do love a chime candle. Ugh. Now you can also burn candles to represent whatever it is that you want it to represent. For me, it's always different working with these candles. So sometimes I just light a candle to basically be a light in the darkness whenever I need it, just to be a light for my spirit team to come and connect with me. There's that. Also, anything that I manifest, I burn a candle and I set that intention for this candle, and it's basically to light the way for it to come. That's how I utilize these. You can utilize it for whatever you want. If you're using a chime candle or what are they called? I mean, you can use taper, like the regular taper candles. Votive. There we go. Votive candles. You can use those as well. They come in all sorts of colors. Some of them are scented. Pick whatever you feel you are being called to use. Again, like I said, there is no right or wrong way of making an altar and working with an altar either. It's whatever you're called to. Now, if you are new to this, it is good to start off with kind of a guide. So looking at what the colors represent, color psychology is a thing. It affects us in such a way. So if you want to use colors in the way that it affects us psychologically, then absolutely go look into that. There are books about color psychology or color magic that you might find a book on. In fact, I think one of my favorite books is called Color Magic, but it's color psychology. But it's going to tell you all the different ways that you can use different colors, such as what colors are great for the days of the week, what color is best for the zodiac, the planets, everything, any intention. There's going to be different colors you can use for that. White, of course, can be used for absolutely anything because it embodies all the colors, and black deflects all of them. So black is typically used for like protection to keep away anything. But again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you're called to a certain color, but it's not typically used for that intention, use it. Go with your gut. Never let somebody else tell you how to do your own workings. Never, okay? Take that as you will. I love burning. I love working with fire. It's fantastic. Herbs also can be fun. So I do have all of my jars down here. I have some herbs down here, but I don't have a lot. Like I've got hibiscus, and I think I have some chrysanthemum over here, and I've got some peppermint. I've got some peppermint tea that was left over, and I had used it for something, so it's just kind of sitting there. But jar magic is also very, very potent. I took a class on hoodoo. I absolutely loved it. I'm gonna tell you right now, they know what the fuck they're doing. So, and it's not strictly hoodoo, by the way. There are cultures around the world that use jar magic, and they use it all differently. So I highly recommend using some jar magic, to be honest with you. This is also something great. So if you have like these little jars, and I'm gonna tell you right now, all those like single shot things that you can buy at the store. I think this is actually from Dose. I saved the bottle because I love these. You can also make a tiny little altar in this tiny little jar and take it around with you. It could be a little travel altar for you. You can put whatever herbs in there. You can put whatever stones, crystals that you want to put in there. Anything. Anything, anything, anything. So learn how to do that. If you haven't done it yet, I may or may not make a video on it. Because again, I would prefer that you actually find a practitioner that does these things and teaches it. But these are all the things that I utilize here. Now I'm going to bring you up to the top. And this is my altar up here. I love skulls. Those are my favorite things on planet Earth because it represents death, right? But it's also life. It was life at one point before it died. So life and death kind of floating between two worlds. So I utilize them a lot. I burn incense pretty much every single day. There's my my candle over here. Yeah, there we go. There's my candle over here. I'm sitting on the floor so I can't see. But I've got my candle burning. I've got this bowl back here. So there's actually some broken stuff in there. Broken things should honestly be honored as well. I've got a little world over here, and I've got some of the crystals up here, as you can see. My tiny little skulls, I love them. Like Ganesh, love my Ganesh. Some selenite, there is a flute back there. I had nowhere else to put it. I will find another spot for it eventually. But yeah, there's my broken things, but also some earthly offerings. So, broken things can be honored as well. It is a way of really honoring life and all of the ups and downs that come with it. So broken things are not things to poo-poo, if you will. They should be honored. They serve their purpose at one point, and you should honor that they did a service for you. And you're allowing it to rest, but you're honoring it in that way. So you can also take those broken items, you can go bury them outside in your backyard. If you don't have a backyard, maybe at a park, I don't know, just take them somewhere you can bury it if you feel so called to do so. That's another way to do it. I don't have that ability because I live in an apartment, so up there they are. But every single day, so Archangel Michael works with me a lot. In fact, he's one of my spirit team and always has been since I was very, very little, if not since I was born. So I started, I don't know how long ago, but every morning now I say, good morning, Michael, and I'll light some incense and I'll light a candle. Just to connect with him, let him know that I do appreciate that he works with me all the time, that he helps me with everything that I need help with. And I also have another altar that's in my living room that I probably won't show. I might show later on. I don't know, I might make a separate video about it. But that one is for my ancestors, but it's also for the Morrigan because I am a daughter of the Morrigan. I've been working with her for a very long time. So, well, very long time. It's been several years. I think I really started working with her maybe probably 10 years ago, actually. 10 to 11 years ago, I started working with the Morgan, so it has been a long time. It's been over a decade. So I do have a little altar for her to honor her. Because, man, she put me through the ringer, but it was worth it. It was worth it. And if any of you work with the Morgan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. She's a tough love energy, to be honest. She doesn't really do things for you unless she feels like she wants to do it. But most of the time, she'll put you through the ringer and have you figure out how to do it your fucking self. So I have an altar to honor her as well. I don't ask her for much, to be honest with you, but I love her and I still honor her. So I might actually show you guys in a different video what that altar is. But every single morning I say, "Good morning, Michael," and then I'll go over to that altar and I'll say, "Good morning, everybody." Talking to my spirit team, my ancestors, people who have passed over, my loved ones, all of them that do help me out, and even the ones that don't. It's just nice to say hello, let them know that they're still thought about, that they're cared about, even if I don't know who they are and I don't know their names. You know, same thing for you. If you want to create an ancestral altar and do some ancestor veneration, then absolutely just make an altar of things that you think that they like, or you can offer them things that you love, because it's a sign of affection. This is something that I really love and I would love for you to have it as well. So you can do that. Leave them water. I personally give them coffee every single morning, and I'll sit down and either have coffee or tea, and just kind of join in with them. So do whatever. Create your altar. Make it what you want it. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be really small. It can be a single item. It doesn't matter. Just do whatever you want, whatever you feel called to do. If you feel called to expand it, if you feel called to literally break everything down and redo it all over again, do that. Because like I said, I just did this recently, like a few days ago. And it feels great. It feels so much better. It got really crowded and dusty and it looked terrible. So now we have new energy. So have fun. Play with it. Whatever. But I hope this visual representation kind of helps you decide what you want to do with your own altar, or at least give you some ideas if you're new to it. And if you're not new to it, well, maybe redoing your altar gave you an idea as well. Maybe you need to go redo yours, dust it off. You do need to clean it every once in a while. Dusty energy is stale, stagnant energy, so it's not really doing anything. So clean everything off. Spend a day. Do a sacred cleansing for that altar, whatever you gotta do. Anyway, that's all I have for altars. So if you are interested in videos like this or in any of my other videos, do hit like and subscribe, and also visit my website. It'll be down in the description box below. It is honeybadgercounseling.com. You can work with me personally. I do teach people how to do stuff like this. I'll even give you a list of things to bring to your 1-hour class, so that we can start working and actually do some hands-on stuff. Even though it's all online, we're still doing it together. So if you're interested in that, visit the link down below, schedule a session with me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.